This isn't a review I ever thought I'd make, because I've never considered myself to be an audiophile. I've always listened to music and spoken word, be it on podcasts or radio, but I've never really been bothered, like most people, about the sound quality as long as it wasn't distracting. But then I started getting into video editing and marketing for the company I work for, and I realised that I needed to make sure that the sound quality I was capturing was good enough. And then I realised that if I was going to know whether or not it was good enough, I'd need to be able to hear it properly. So I ended up buying some studio reference headphones. In particular, I've got these, the Sennheiser HD 400 Pros. Now, they're not the highest end headphones on the market. They're very reasonably priced, certainly not the most expensive you can get by any stretch of the imagination. But they are relatively new on the scene and they're very highly recommended. But as you can probably tell, I kind of happened to buy them. I didn't necessarily buy them to enjoy using them. Unfortunately, what's happened is they've now ruined me for life. I am forever doomed to listen to other people's music systems and say things like, well, that's a bit fuzzy, or it's not so clear on the high frequencies. You get the idea. So this has posed something of a chicken and egg question in my mind, which is, do audiophiles, or people who appreciate any form of high-end technology, do so because they have exceptional taste or a particular talent, or just because they've experienced something that your average Joe hasn't? But before we answer that question, here's a quick rundown of why I think you should get these headphones specifically. For one thing, they are new on the market, so at the time of recording you're getting the latest and greatest at this price point. They're not the most expensive headphones that Sennheiser offer. There are plenty more expensive headphones on the market, but these are newer. I've obviously alluded to this, but these do sound great. I haven't got much here to compare them to, but I have listened to some pretty high-end expensive systems before. The difference I find with these is being able to listen and hear with such clarity. Because these are open back headphones, unlike my noise cancelling wireless headphones, you're able to listen to music and hold a conversation with someone. It's a very different experience. Effectively, that means you can listen for long periods of time without getting fatigued. And that's helped by the fact that the ear cups themselves are very soft. You have this velour type material. And I've actually found it quite weird and difficult going back to my wireless headphones, which have got a leather-like material, because comparatively, they're quite uncomfortable. In terms of the comfort, when I first got these, I have to admit I was incredibly disappointed. They just didn't seem to fit right on my head. I was very confused because the comfort was something that had been praised in reviews I'd watched before. But it didn't seem to matter where I put them on my head, and I was trying to shift them all around and see what I was doing wrong, but it just wasn't comfortable. And I'd even considered sending them back. But thankfully, before I did, I watched another review online, and they mentioned that the clamping force of these headphones is quite strong because I guess they're made out of plastic. And so, as he did in the review, I very gently sort of levered them apart. And after that, I found it's been a lot better, and they've kept getting more comfortable as well. So just be warned that they might take a few days to break in. Apart from enjoying listening to music, these have been incredibly helpful when editing videos, which is what they were bought for. I find that I'm able to edit the sound in the videos with a lot more confidence, knowing that the changes that I make will have an effect and it won't be the sound quality that stops somebody from enjoying a video. You might stop watching this video for other reasons, but it won't be the sound quality. And as soon as I put them on, I was able to hear corrections that needed to be made in the videos that I just hadn't been able to pick up before. And to go back to our original question of whether or not you feel it's worth you making an extravagant purchase on some expensive studio reference headphones, And perhaps you say things like, oh, I can't really tell the difference, it all sounds the same to me. Well, those are statements I have definitely heard from my wife. She does not consider herself an audiophile by any stretch of the imagination. I have to be a little bit careful about how much I press that point because she'll probably watch this. But when I got these, she put these on and listened to her favourite song. And bearing in mind this is a song she has listened to hundreds of times before, but when she listened to it through these, she was able to hear the piano accompaniment. She was amazed, to the point where she actually asked me to be able to download the sheet music for her to play the piece. So I definitely recommend getting a pair of studio reference headphones if you can justify the cost. And I apologise in advance for ruining your experience of every other subpar system, the ones that don't have any bass. Well, let me know in the comments what your favourite pair of headphones are, and leave a like if you enjoyed this review. And thanks for watching.